Greek Mythology Trivia Speed Round 6. Track how many questions you can get right. Question: what lover of Zeus was turned into a constellation after being taken to Olympus to serve nectar? The answer is Ganymede. Fun fact: his myth inspired the name of Jupiter's largest moon. Question: which monster had the body of a lion, the wings of an eagle, and the tail of a serpent? The answer is chimera. Fun fact: the word chimera today means any impossible or fantastical idea, a nod to her mixed form. Question: what mortal woman was turned into a bear and became the mother of Arcas, ancestor of the Arcadians? The answer is Callisto. Fun fact: Arcas was nearly killed by his own mother before Zeus intervened and placed them both among the stars. Question: which muse was the goddess of epic poetry? The answer is Calliope. Fun fact: she's often depicted holding a writing tablet and stylus. Question: what riddle did the Sphinx pose to Oedipus? The answer is, what walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 in the evening? Fun fact: the answer was man, representing stages of life. Question: which hero killed his own father, King Laius, without realizing his identity? The answer is Oedipus. Fun fact: the oracle's prophecy that he'd kill his father and marry his mother came horribly true. Question: which king's ears were turned into donkey ears by Apollo? The answer is King Midas. Fun fact: the punishment came after Midas foolishly favored Pan's music over Apollo's. Question: which constellation symbolizes the twins Castor and Pollux? The answer is Gemini. Fun fact: their dual stars, named after the brothers, are among the easiest pairs to spot in winter skies. Question: which constellation represents the swan into which Zeus transformed himself to seduce Leda? The answer is Cygnus. Fun fact: the stars of Cygnus form the shape of a flying bird along the Milky Way. Question: who guided the Argonauts safely through the clashing rocks? Symplegades? The answer is Phineus. Fun fact: he was a blind seer punished by Zeus but helped by the Boreads, sons of the north wind. Question: which Roman goddess corresponds to the Greek Demeter? The answer is Ceres. Fun fact: the word cereal comes from her name. Question: which minor god was known as the keeper of dreams and often appeared in human form during sleep? The answer is Morpheus. Fun fact: the word morphine was inspired by Morpheus's dreamlike powers. Question: which constellation represents the ram with the golden fleece? The answer is Aries. Fun fact: the fleece later became the prize sought by Jason and the Argonauts. Question: which group of 3 sisters controlled the fate of all mortals and gods? The answer is the Fates, Moirai. Fun fact: they spun, measured, and cut the thread of life. Even Zeus respected their power. Question: which Greek hero killed his wife and children in a fit of madness caused by Hera? The answer is Hercules. Fun fact: this tragedy led him to undertake the 12 labors as penance. Question: what plant made Odysseus's men forget their homes? The answer is the lotus. Fun fact: those who ate it wanted to stay on the island forever. Question: what graceful animal pulls Artemis's moon chariot through the night sky? The answer is deer. Fun fact: Artemis was said to protect wild deer, and her temples often kept sacred herds. Question: who was turned into a spider after challenging Athena in weaving? The answer is Arachne. Fun fact: her flawless tapestry depicted the gods' misdeeds, an unforgivable insult. Question: which Greek queen bragged that she was more beautiful than the Nereids, angering Poseidon? The answer is Cassiopeia. Fun fact: she was placed among the stars, often shown upside down as punishment. Question: which centaur trained many heroes, including Achilles, Jason, and Asclepius? The answer is Chiron. Fun fact: unlike other centaurs, he was wise and civilized. Wounded by a poisoned arrow, he surrendered immortality to Prometheus. Question: which princess was carried off by Zeus in the form of a white bull? The answer is Europa. Fun fact: the continent of Europe is named after her. Question: which goddess punished Narcissus by making him fall in love with his own reflection? The answer is Nemesis. Fun fact: she embodied divine retribution against arrogance and vanity. Question: who stole Apollo's cattle as an infant but charmed him with a lyre? The answer is Hermes. Fun fact: he was only a day old when he committed the theft, earning him a reputation for cunning. Question: which Titaness was goddess of the moon before Selene became known? The answer is Phoebe. Fun fact: her name means bright, and she was associated with prophetic light. Question: what constellation represents the bull form Zeus took to carry off Europa? The answer is Taurus. Fun fact: its bright cluster, the Pleiades, rides on the bull's shoulder. Thanks for watching. Comment below to let us know how many questions you got right. If you like this video, tap like, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share with friends. See you in the next video.